वैराग्य विद्या निज भक्ति योगा शिक्षार्थमेक पुरुष पुराना श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य शरीर धारी कृपाम्बुदीर्यतमहं प्रपद्ये मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारणम् वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Warm welcome everyone in the study of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So we'll continue our study from chapter 16. Today we begin from text 1. We will start chapter 16, text 1. Again, fascinating this dialogue, fascinating journey between Krishna and Arjuna. Bhagavad Gita is tremendously therapeutic. Uh, we all have our highs and lows in life, but Harinam is something we can always fall back to, we can always refer to. Harinam meaning is going out, distributing books, going out, doing street chanting, kirtan. Like on Saturday, devotees from Karuna Bhavan had gone to Liverpool for a Maha Harinam on George Harrison's 80th birthday. Book distribution, Harinam and Prasadam. So Harinam is something which is a instantaneous result, which helps instantaneously. Japa is something. Bhagavad Gita is something. All are divya, no? All are transcendental. There is no difference between Krishna's holy name, Bhagavad Gita, the message. Everything is on the transcendental platform. Bhagavad Gita, the message in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna's mind, Krishna's body, Krishna's soul, Krishna's word, speech, everything is transcendental, divya, on the absolute platform. Uh, and likewise, Krishna's associate, they are also transcendental on the absolute platform. So Bhagavad Gita is very relatable, it is very practical, and something very universal, very scientific. Bhagavad Gita, and anytime we read it, it is going to build up our faith more and more. And it is a practice wherein, yes, faith is very much required, and the building of this faith is very much required for us to continue in Krishna consciousness and to ever stay motivated. See, one problem in life is motivation. Many times we struggle with motivation, and Arjuna here struggling with motivation. He himself is declaring to Krishna that I'm feeling depressed, I'm very low with energy, help me. So, crisis is a good thing. From crisis, something beautiful can come about. Arjuna was in a deep crisis, and look, something beautiful came about now. So, many a times, crisis is very good, or always actually, crisis or anything is always good. We just need one turning point to be able to practice Krishna consciousness. And generally, when we are in success, we do not see much, we do not take much learning or education. But when we are in crisis, we become more active. So, in that regards, yes, crisis is very good in life because crisis can help us make something wonderful. So, with this mood, with this prayer, with this understanding, helping us personally to build faith throughout and throughout, we try to continue our study of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So, we'll begin with chapter 16. Text 1 to 3, which discusses 26 divine qualities of a devotee. The chapter is entitled Divine and Demoniac Nature. Hmm, Divine and Demoniac Nature. So, we'll read text 1 to 3, and we won't read the entire purport. We'll read it to a certain section and discuss and then continue like that. So, Renas, maybe when it comes on the screen, you can read translation and purport can be shared in parts, by Deepthi, Harsh and Renas. You can read in turns Deepthi, Harsha, Renas, the purport. So, chapter 16, text 1 to 3. Shri Bhagwan Uvacha Abhayam Sattva Samsudhir Yoga Vivastiti Dhanam Damascha Yagyascha Swadhyayasthaparjavam Ahimsa Satyam Akrodas Tyaga Shantir Apeshunam Daya Bhuteshva Mardavam Rir Achapalam तेजसमधृति शौचम् अद्रोहो नातिमानिता भवन्ति सम्पदं दैवीम् अभिजातस्य भारत. So maybe I can read translation actually, and Deepthi Renas Harsha can read purport in turns. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, fearlessness, purification of one's existence, cultivation of spiritual knowledge, charity, self control, performance of sacrifice, study of the Vedas, austerity, simplicity, non violence, truthfulness, freedom from anger, renunciation, tranquility, aversion to fault finding, compassion for all living entities, freedom from covetousness, gentleness, modesty, steady determination, vigor, forgiveness, fortitude, cleanliness, and freedom from envy, and from the passion for honor. These transcendental qualities, O son of Bharata, belong to godly men endowed with divine nature.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So perfect. In the beginning of the 15th chapter, the banyan tree of this material world was explained. The extra roots coming out of it were compared to the activities of the living entities, some auspicious, some inauspicious. In the ninth chapter, also the devas or godly and the asuras and the ungodly or demons were explained. Now, according to Vedic rites, activities in the moods of goodness are considered auspicious for progress on the path of liberation, and such activities are known as Daivi Prakriti, transcendental by nature. Those who are situated in transcendental nature make progress on the path of liberation. For those who are acting in the modes of passion and ignorance, on the other hand, there is no possibility of liberation. Either they will have no remain in this material world as human beings, or they will be descended among the species of animals or even of other life forms. In the 16th chapter, the Lord explains both the transcendental nature and its attendant qualities, and the demoniac nature and its qualities. He also explains the advantages and disadvantages of these qualities. Should I read further?
Harsha can read maybe, and then Dipti can read.
The word Abhijatesa is in reference to one born of transcendental qualities or godly tendencies is very significant. To beget a child in a godly atmosphere is known in the Vedic scriptures as Garbhadhana Samskara. If the parents want a child in the godly qualities, they should follow the 10 principles recommended for the social life of the human being. In Bhagavad Gita, we have studied also before that sex life for begetting a good child is Krishna himself. Sex life is not condemned, provided the process is used in Krishna consciousness. Those who are in Krishna consciousness at least should not beget children like cats and dogs, but should beget them so that they may become Krishna conscious after birth. That should be the advantage of children born of a father and mother absorbed in Krishna consciousness.
The social institution known as Varnashrama Dharma, the institution dividing
Venus,
society.
Deepti can read, huh? You read after Deepti.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, the social institution known as Varnashram Dharma, the institution dividing society into four divisions of social life and four occupational divisions or castes, is not meant to divide human society according to birth. Such divisions are in terms of educational qualifications. They are to keep the society in a state of peace and prosperity. The qualities mentioned herein are explained as transcendental qualities meant for making a person progress in spiritual understanding so that he can get liberated from the material world.
Um, uh, in the Varnashrama institution, the sannyasi or the person in a renounced order of life is considered to be the head of the spiritual master of all the social statuses and orders. A Brahmana is considered to be the spiritual master of the three other sections of a society, namely the Kshatriyas, the Vaishyas, and the Shudras. But a sannyasi who is on the top of the institution is considered to be the spiritual master of the Brahmanas also. For a sannyasi, the first qualification should be fearlessness, because a sannyasi has to be alone without any support or guarantee of support. He has simply to depend on the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If one thinks, after I leave my connections, who will protect me? He should not accept the renounced order of life. One must be fully convinced that Krishna or the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his localized aspects as Paramatma is always within, that he is seeing everything and he always knows what one intends to do. One must thus have firm conviction that Krishna as Paramatma will take care of a soul surrendered to him. I shall never be alone, one should think. Even if I live in the darkest regions of a forest, I shall be accompanied by Krishna, and he will give me all protection. That conviction is called abhayam, fearlessness. This state of mind is necessary for a person in a renounced order of life.
Then he has to purify his existence. There are so many rules and regulations to be followed in the renounced order of life. Most important of all, a sannyasi is strictly forbidden to have intimate relationship with the women. He is even forbidden to talk with the women in a secluded place. Lord Chaitanya was an ideal sannyasi, and when he was at Puri, his feminine devotees could not even come near to offer their respects. They were advised to bow down from a distant place. This is not a sign of hatred for women as a class, but it is a stricture imposed on the sannyasi not to have close connections with women. One has to follow the rules and regulations of a particular status of life in order to purify his existence. For a sannyasi, intimate relations with women and possession of wealth or sense gratification are strictly forbidden. The ideal sannyasi was Lord Chaitanya himself, and we can learn from his life that he was very strict in regards to women. Although he is considered to be the most liberal incarnation of Godhead, accepting the most fallen conditioned souls, He strictly followed the rules and regulations of the sannyasa order of life in connection with association with women. One of his personal associates, namely Chota Haridasa, was associated with Lord Chaitanya, along with his other confidential personal associates. But somehow or other, this Chota Haridasa looked lustily on a young woman, and Lord Chaitanya was so strict that he at once rejected him from the society of his personal associates. Lord Chaitanya said, for a sannyasi or anyone who's aspiring to get out of the clutches of material nature and trying to elevate himself to the spiritual nature and go back home, back to Godhead, for him, looking towards material possessions and women for sense gratification, not even enjoying them, but just looking forward them, but just looking toward them with such a propensity is so condemned that he had better commit suicide before experiencing such illicit desires. So these are the processes for purification.
The next item is charity. Charity is meant for the householders. The householders should earn a livelihood by an honorable
ये नहीं है
means.
क्या? The next item is ज्ञान योगा
Oh,
व्यवस्थिति.
sorry, I missed that,
Yes.
Prabhuji. Yeah.
Mhm.
The next item is Jnana Yoga Vyavasthiti, being engaged in the cultivation of knowledge. Sannyasi life is meant for distributing knowledge to the householder and others who have forgotten their real lives of spiritual advancement. A sannyasi is supposed to beg from door to door for his livelihood, but this does not mean that he is a beggar. Humility is also one of the qualifications of a transcendentally situated person. And out of sheer humility, the sannyasi goes from door to door, not exactly for the purpose of begging, but to see the householders and awaken them to Krishna consciousness. This is the duty of a sannyasi. If he is actually advanced and so ordered by his spiritual master, he should preach Krishna consciousness with logic and understanding. And if one is not so advanced, he should not accept the renounced order of life. But even if one has accepted the renounced order of life without sufficient knowledge, he should engage himself fully in hearing from a bona fide spiritual master to cultivate knowledge. A sannyasi or one in the renounced order of life must be situated in fearlessness, sattva, samruddhi, samsuddhi, and jnana yoga, knowledge.
Okay, Renas, read this paragraph and then we'll discuss a bit.
Okay. The next item is charity. Charity is meant for the householders. The householders should earn a livelihood by an
Livelihood.
honorable means and spend 50% of their income to propagate Krishna consciousness all over the world. Thus, a householder should give in charity to institutional societies that are engaged in that way. Charity should be given to the right receiver. There are different kinds of charities, as will be explained later on. Charity in the moods of goodness, passion, and ignorance. Charity in the mood of goodness is recommended by the scriptures, but charity in the moods of passion and ignorance is not recommended, because it is simply a waste of money. Charity should be given only to propagate Krishna consciousness all over the world. That is charity in the moods of goodness. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, before we go further in this chapter is entitled as Divine and Demoniac Nature. Huh? So, this chapter is not entitled Divine and Demoniac Person. We should always remember this in mind. The chapter is called Divine and Demoniac Nature, not Divine and Demoniac Person. This is a behavioral world. We meet so many people, within our family also, and outside strangers, some known to contact, some unknown, family members, and everyone. So, and it is no one can say, okay, I get along with all my family members, no, or with all my friends, neighbors, and no. But we should never, we should pray that we should live life in a manner that no one becomes the object of my hatred. No one becomes the object of my anger, jealousy, or envy. Mm. So, this will come about when I differentiate distinct between the person and the person's mind, divine and demoniac nature. Persons are all good. Soul deep down is very good, no? Living entity, part and parcel of Krishna. It is the mind which is a bit otherwise. Mm. Person is wise, but the mind is a bit otherwise. Soul is wise, but the mind is a bit otherwise. uh, because heavily in this modes of material nature, we are heavily caught up in the modes of material nature, living in a misidentification crisis. And in that misidentity crisis, we are getting carried away further and further. So we tend to associate the person's nature with the person. As in Bible it says, what? Hate the sin, not the sinner. Bhagavad Gita also 9:30 says this only. Api chetsu duracharo bhajate mam ananya bhag sadhureva samantavya samyak vyavasito hi sa. Api chetsu duracharo. Krishna is telling to Arjuna that one is suduracharo. Suduracharo means very misbehaved person. Bhajate mam ananya bhag. But if he is engaged in devotional, fixed devotional service, intense, ananya means one pointed, without any other motive, without any ulterior motive, just one pointed. So if he is fixed in one pointed devotional service, sadhu reva samantavya samyak vyavastito hisa. He should be seen like a sadhu only, a saintly person, situated like that. So we should always consider, first of all, to begin with ourselves, that we have lots of conditioning. Yes, we should agree that yes, I've got lots of work to do. We should not be upset with ourselves also. Yeah, a certain degree remorse should be there with myself that I'm not practicing nicely, but there's no point going in a loop over myself. Oh, I'm filthy, I'm dirty, I'm no good, I'm no good, I'm like this only. This doesn't help. This will never help. Little bit of fair assessment is good to do, reality check, but we should not entertain any negative thoughts or feedbacks on ourselves. Mm. Should not give ourselves negative feeds. And we should give all positive feed. What is positive feed? I am Krishna's. I am a devotee. I am going to become a devotee. I am doing good and I will do good with the association of devotees. So divine and demoniac nature. People are fine. It's the nature which is under the modes of material nature. Our mind so much heavily associated with the modes of material nature. So Sadhu Reva, Krishna says, consider him to be saintly. Now see this as a question. Say the population of India is what, 1.3 billion? 1.3 plus billion, say. Now, there are many people who smoke cigarette. There are many people who drink alcohol. There are many people who do gambling and who have illicit relationships, say, in India. Now, but there is someone who chants Hare Krishna also, who does japa one round, maybe one round only on beat, and does all these four items. So there is a section of people who do only four items and do not do any japa. And there is one who does all these four items but does one round of japa as well. Who is better? Someone who breaks all the four principles, right? Meat eating, who eats meat, who does gambling, who takes intoxication, who has illicit relationships, and someone who also does all these four but he does daily 1 round of japa. Who is a better position?
Well, I guess the second person, right? Seems like obvious, right? No,
Yes,
no.
yes.
Yes, the
The
one who
one
is
who,
doing japa definitely is in a better position.
out of all these things, this credit should be given, na, that he's doing all, say, nonsense items. But at least 5 minute, 10 minute he is doing japa. That credit should be given to him. No one can take away that credit from him. Otherwise, what hope is there for him? Throughout 23 hours, 45 minutes, he may be doing nonsense in a day. But 15 minutes, he's not doing nonsense. He's doing japa. 15 minutes. And that 15 minute will change his life altogether. That much credit should be given. So this is how we need to distinguish between the person and the person's nature. Say. We have to see them in saintly light. The more we try to criticize others, the more we create new karma for ourselves. The more we criticize others, the more we look into the faults of others. Others are what they are, but if I, without being an authority, without having a role to play, say, if I just pick on the faults of others, then I'm creating new karma for myself because I'm being very critical. Once we shared this, na, I think Sachinanand Maharaj writes in his book, or it comes somewhere, that once a king, he had organized a khichdi feast for his town people, people in the village. Uh, he had organized a khichdi feast. So he announced in advance there will be khichdi feast on certain day, and the arrangements were done. Khichdi was made in ghee very nicely. mm, and stands were put up, stalls were put up. They were serving people who were serving khichdi, and people had gathered. The king was also watching from a distance in a pandal. Say. Now people, hundreds, they were sitting down and having khichdi, going for second, third, fourth khichdi with some papadam. Now what happens? A bird is flying with a snake in his mouth, and snake is almost dead. And the very last bit of poison from snake's mouth, it falls down. And that poison falls down where? In the khichdi pot of someone who is honoring khichdi there. But he doesn't even notice, okay, that the poison has dropped. Huh? And he takes that khichdi, he eats that khichdi. Mm. And say he shares or he just eats that khichdi. Now that khichdi, small drop of poison, but it is very dangerous for the person. Now that poison has spread all over the khichdi and it has gone into his body, entered his system, and he is having the effect of his, and he's getting unconscious and losing his life. Now this happens so sudden, everyone is stunned, but we have this human tendency, what? To blame someone. We like you. This we asked once in Bhagavatam class we discussed, right? Not sure, Renus, if you were there. You may not be there. I think you were not there. Okay, allow me to ask this question. We all know the answer. What is the most popular game in this world? What is the most popular game which is played in this world? Football?
Hare
What do
Krishna,
you say, Renus? Hmm?
I guess on a similar note, oh, yeah, football
Did you say
maybe.
football? Okay, Renus says football. Dipti says football. Anyone
Oh,
else? What is
I
the
was,
most popular? Hmm?
yeah, I was thinking like on a similar note that you were saying just before. No, it's kind of like it's very easy to kind of like start looking for the person to blame who's responsible for the accident. So
Hmm.
it's just like yeah, yeah. I guess that's probably the one of the popular games. It's just like it's very easy to kind of um just kind of like look for someone who might be on fault. Like, yeah,
Hmm.
I guess.
So, football is not the most popular game, by the way. There's something even much played game than football, and people play this game right from a very young age, worldwide. And this game is like everyone, people create their own rules of it, playing the game, create their own rules, huh? And no one needs as such a training in this game. We all come trained pretty much in this game, and we further, yes, we enhance more in this game. We become more professional though, but we all come nicely trained in this game. And for football, there is bad weather can affect football, right? Or many other sport can be affected by bad weather, some other things. But this game is not affected by any bad weather or anything. No. Yes. So Deepti has message correct. What? Blame game. We all love to blame someone or the other. This is a human nature ना. भाई किसी ना किसी पे तो दोषारोपण करना ही है. किसी ना किसी पे तो खाता में चढ़ाना ही है. So in this instance again, the poison came into the pot of a person. He happened to drink it. Now whose fault is it? Whose fault? Is it the king's fault that he arranged this event on that Sunday itself? Or is it the king's minister's fault? Why did he choose this field? Why did he not choose another field? Is it the servers' fault who were putting stalls and all? Is it their fault? Why did they put a bench here to sit on? Is it the person's fault? Why did he put his pot in that position? Why did he put slightly different position? Maybe had he put slightly different position, the poison may not have entered the pot. The poison might have dropped on the ground. So this is a question. Whose fault is it? Is it someone's fault? है क्या किसी की गलती? If it is someone's fault, then whose fault is it? Who is responsible for this action? The person died, right? So who is responsible for the person's death? Is it the eagle's fault, the snake's fault? Yes, Renas.
Uh, um, um, I guess in the modern times, it's very easy to kind of like look for someone whose fault it is. But well, I guess from the spiritual perspective, it's just the person's karma, right? So maybe, I mean, it's, I guess it's like uh, from the, from one perspective, it would be wrong to say that like maybe the person who got poisoned maybe was the one who was like fault was because of his previous karma, maybe. Something like
Yeah,
that.
it is karma. Hmm. Anyone else? Any thoughts? It's definitely karma has a role to play. Karma playing a role, and no one is receiving anything unfair. No, everyone is receiving fair share only. So yes, it is his karma. Somehow it was destined to come in this way, uh, through this, and this arrangement happened, and the karma struck. But having said this, we just cannot many things, no? Like we just cannot leave it on karma. Like if you see a homeless person, oh, it's his poor karma. Move on. If we move on with such an attitude, na, then what happens? We get a bad karma. We get a bad karma. If we see someone poor who is disabled and I am in a position that I can assist, then either I should assist or at least I should not say like this, oh, his poor karma and move on. So, in that assembly, what happened? People were shocked, stunned. Oh, this poor man, he died all of a sudden having this khichdi. One old lady, she came and she said, what? Oh, it is the king's fault. It is the king's all arrangement. He wants to kill us. The king I know now. The king himself arranged this so he can have us all together, prepare khichdi. And now don't know tomorrow who is going to die eating this khichdi. So the lady made a big issue out of it, big row out of it. And let's blame the king. Let's throw stones at him. Let's get him down. Furthermore, see, blame the. Now, before this, Yamraj Chitrakoot, the Prime Minister of Yamraj, was wondering, discussing, thinking, who should we put the blame on? Who should, is it, whose fault is it? King, the citizens, uh, who's the ministers? They were not able to spot someone to put a fault in their account. But as soon as the lady started speaking, as the old lady raised her voice, it was a very easy thing for them. They got to know, okay, this event, the karma goes to this old lady. It is her fault. So we should be very extremely careful of how we deal, how we behave in this world. Yeah. And seeing someone homeless and we just casually walk off and say something ill, not good. We should not just these are we create more samskars like this only. Oh, politicians are not good, spokesperson are not good. This is all creating further and further layers of samskars within ourselves. So the most played game in this world is the blame game only. And we love blaming each other. Politics is the most dirty thing in this world. Politics is very dirty. Politics is dirty. Politics can never be good. But we all say this, yet we all find some inclination, some juice in politics. Huh? What is going on in his life, what is going in her life. We all still love a bit of a such sort of juice. So these speaks on the 26 qualities of a devotee. Huh? And again, as going through a bit of the purport. So it is not like sex is not um, condemned or there's no room for it in Krishna consciousness. Yes, of course, men and women come together, but should be only for bringing life. Bringing life means what? To give someone a birth, a human form of life, to have a soul, and give him or her the culture, the training, the guidance, the etiquette. If we are bringing someone in this life, we should own that responsibility and check to our best of ability how can we make this that person's, that lives, that soul's the last life in this material world. Mm. How can we create a platform for him or her that this becomes his last life? And how can we show him exit from this material world? Where we are bringing someone entering, then we should do with the best within our capacity so that we clearly pave the path for exiting from this material world. That is Krishna consciousness. Then it is fine. Otherwise, for sense enjoyment, it is path only. And yeah, it should be everything natural is good. And anywhere where we play with the laws of nature, then we will be receiving karma out of it for sure. We can escape from the law of government, from the government law, local law, uh, but we can never escape from the law of material nature. So if we try to act any smart, we are going to be hit heavy. Now, sannyas life is a life of sheer austerity, very strict sannyas life, uh, and sannyasi, he's the authority. And sannyas means complete. Nyas means giving up. Hmm. San means completely. So one who has completely given up the thought of material sense gratification. One who has completely given up the desire to enjoy independently of Krishna. One who has completely given up what? Fear, one who is completely dependent on Krishna, then he is fearless. So, see again, Varnashram we understand what? Brahmachari, Grahastha, Vanaprastha and Sannyas. So a question is coming, check. Brahmachari means student life, celibate life, one who is not having boyfriend, girlfriend, that sort of thing. And good sense control, mind control, studying Shastra scriptures, living a pure, honest, simple life, Brahmachari life. Then Grahastha life, wherein husband and wife live together. There is room for sense enjoyment, but a regulated sense enjoyment, pure sense enjoyment, earn money, earn money and support. It is the Grahastha only who are allowed to earn and provide financial security or support to all the three ashrams. A brahmachari should not is not like earning. He should not be earning money. Brahmachari should be doing services for his guru and living in ashram and menial services and preaching engagements like that. So brahmachari, grahastha, vanaprastha. Vanaprastha is okay, having married life, family life, raise children also. And now it's time to go towards one. One means forest, meaning seclusion, meaning developing detachment, meaning enhancing bhajan. And finally, sannyas. Finally, sannyas. Completely giving up material identity. So these are the four pillars of the ashrams of us in society. Uh, and any society, if we will find them, these four sections. Although currently in Kali Yuga, in India and outside of India, it is very much hidden or very polluted. Mm, Hardly to find brahmacharis, hardly to find good grahasthas. Good grahastha means who are devotees and not engaged in sense gratification. Grahasthas also should be brahmachari only, living like brahmachari only. Grahastha means does not mean a license to enjoy unrestrictedly. Say. Then vanaprastha, there's so many peoples in this world, see, 60 plus, yet their attachment is where? In sari, in jewelry. 60 plus attachment is where? Purse, sari, jewelry, nail polish, shopping. Attachment is where? Blame game. Check, many in 60s, many grannies, they love playing blame game, don't they? Then many in 60 plus in male body, attachment is where? Money. Or attachment in 60 plus also, but attached to woman, sensual pleasure. That is not Vedic life. That is not Vedic life. Vedic life is meant for training, for purification, for austerity. First 25 years, brahmachari life. Then, okay, next 25 year, family life. And then detach, come out of the dark well of family life. And prepare for bhajan. And then finally, sannyas. So now, sannyas, can a woman take sannyas? Should a woman take sannyas? Is sannyas for woman? Is sannyas for old man? Is sannyas for a young man? Who is sannyas open for a young man? Is sannyas open for a young woman? Is sannyas open for an old woman or an old man? Actually, yes. Sannyas means in principle, in consciousness. This thing to give up sense gratification. It is not just the theka, the contract of a saintly person. नो, ये कोई साधु का ही एक ठेका नहीं है कि इंद्रिय तृप्ति नहीं करना और भगवान के भजन में जुड़ना और संन्यास पूरी चेतना में आना ना, ये मनुष्य मात्र के लिए. So a saintly person, by going into each and everyone's home, he is not begging, he is not like he's short of food. That is a way, that is just a pretext, a way, arrangement by which he's trying to have a dialogue with the householders and educate them in Krishna consciousness, in pure Krishna consciousness. Hmm. And sannyas is for everyone. Married woman also. Sannyas means what? In principle, to give up this idea of material sense gratification, to take more and more shelter of Krishna, be dependent on Krishna. That's sannyas consciousness. See this example, earning in a family, say a husband is earning, huh? Wife is not doing job, wife is not earning money. So in society, say, not everyone earns, right? In society, not everyone goes to office, makes money, gets salary, pays taxes, right? Children do not pay any taxes. Those who are over 60 is retired, they do not pay any taxes. It is just a small working population which earns money and pays taxes, right? And the nation runs. S- So, not everyone is supposed, not everyone should be actively earning money, getting salary, paying taxes, or doing business, making profits, paying taxes. But, but everyone should be following the rules of the society, laws of the state, right? As in traffic light. Doesn't matter if a lady is working or not working, or a child is working or not working, or elderly person paying tax or not paying tax. They are not supposed to pay tax, fine, but they are supposed to obey the traffic rules. And a working man, he's also supposed to obey the traffic rules. So point being, cleanliness in streets, it is everyone's responsibility, na? Not just the responsibility that one cannot say that okay, it's just a taxpayer or not for taxpayers. No, it is for everyone. Likewise, the sannyas consciousness is for everyone. Hmm. Although one may not be supposed to pay tax, but he or she is supposed to follow the traffic rules, other laws of the society. No, no crime, no cheating. Likewise, one need not be in saffron dress, but that does not mean that he or she is not supposed to be following sannyas consciousness. It is not just a saffron dress responsibility to come in sannyas consciousness. It is everyone's responsibility to come in that sannyas consciousness. Be lady, be a man, be a grandmother, be a grandfather. Huh? Everyone's to take this principle of no sense gratification, no mundane identity, no mundane sense gratification, no independent enjoyment, no egoistic desire, thought, identity like that. Okay, any questions or comments? Or Mahaprabhu was very strict. Was very strict, although very liberal, very merciful, but he never liked diplomacy. Uh, and he was very strict when it came to dealing with women. Very, very strict. He never entertained any sort of politics or diplomacy. And this is purity is the force. If we are not pure, we won't be able to preach. Purity has to be maintained. And it is this purity which will make one fearless. Fearlessness means what? Complete dependence on Krishna. Then one can be fearless. Otherwise, one can never be fearless. And human life is meant to purify my existence altogether. Human life is not for cheap sense gratification. As devotees explain what? Sense gratification, sense enjoyment, and sense enlightenment. Human life is meant for enlightened enjoyment. है ना? Sense enlightened enjoyment. It is not like practicing Krishna consciousness, there is no enjoyment or we are not after enjoyment. We are after enjoyment, but we are after a pure enjoyment, enlightened enjoyment. Gaur Gopal Prabhu, his amazing classes he gives, right? One of the class he said, right, this what? That life is like an ice cream. Hmm? Someone thinks what? Life is like an ice cream. How? Oh, ice cream melts. No? So before this life, before the ice cream melts, let me just relish it. Let me just enjoy the ice cream. So many people think take life like that. Oh, life is short, 40, 50, उसके बाद बुढ़ापा after 40, 50, getting into old age. So before I get into old age, let me have full fun. Uh, drink, dance and marry. Uh, कल क्या होगा किसको पता अभी जिंदगी का ले लो मजा. So many take life like that. That life isn't like an ice cream. Short, it is short. So let me make most of it. Let me go full sense enjoyment. Uh, earn money, spend money, buy holiday, do all full maja, full sense enjoyment. Another take on life is what people see life as a candle. This Gaur Gopal Prabhu speaks in his classes. They see life as a candle. How? And what is the mood there? Oh, life is like a candle. Candle is also burning and melting. Will die very soon. But what is the mood? Life is like a candle. Let me first get enlightened myself, enlightenment, and let me enlighten the room then. Let me brighten up the room, spark the room, bring light in the room so that others who are in the room can also benefit, or someone who is outside of the room can see the light and come inside and benefit. Now, for both, life is short. One who takes life as an ice cream, he also is seeing life short. One who sees life as a candle, he is also seeing life short. But their purpose, their perception, their vision, identity is altogether different. Their approach to life is all different. One is more approach to life is what? Sense enjoyment. And another's approach to life is sense enlightenment. And Krishna conscious approach is what? Enlightened enjoyment. There's nothing wrong against enjoyment. Of course, human life is meant to enjoy. Na? We are joy seekers, but we need to first purify our existence and then enjoy. Doctor, before going into surgery, he washes his hands, cleans himself, puts mask on, puts his surgery dress on, so that he protects himself from any bacteria, virus, disease. So he's purifying. That likewise us also. Before we embark in this journey of life, before desiring to become doctor, lawyer, engineer, householder, before going into family life, one has to practice celibacy. One should practice celibacy. The highest strength is in celibacy, but material world teaches another side. Just enjoy casual enjoyment, uh, quick, cheap, casual enjoyment in married life or outside of married life. That is very Vedic life. So life is still the same. Now it depends. In good association, I can see life as a ice cream or I can see life as a candle. Next says in purport what? Charity. Very deep, like charity means offering, na? Charity begins from home, very true. So first of all, I must offer myself to Krishna. What is the best thing to offer to Krishna? The best to offer to Krishna is my heart. The best to offer to Krishna is my heart. Heart meaning desires, aims, aspirations, attachments. I should be giving my attachments to Krishna. Hmm, that thing. The best to offer to Krishna is time, daily time. The best to offer to Krishna is youth. Youth means vitality, youth means life, youth means passion, youth means vigor, right? Strength, risk, ambition. That should be given in Krishna consciousness. To go and preach, to study. In youth only, either we can shape our life or we can break our life. So, youth, we can study very nicely Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, do more japa in youth. 40, 50 plus becomes difficult, na? Can become very difficult to do japa all of a sudden. Why to wait for long? We do not know even if we will be touching 40 or 50. Hmm. So youth, the best to offer to Mahaprabhu is offer one youth, offers one beauty, offers one's intelligence, offer one strength. ये क्या भगवान को बुढ़ापा देंगे क्या? Will we offer old age to Krishna? When we offer bhoga, when we offer bhoga, say to Krishna, prepare food stuff, we try to prepare the best, right? We try to buy the best bhoga, prepare the best food stuff, and offer it to Krishna. And we prepare in a best consciousness also. When we dress deities, we dress them the best dress. So everything we do best. So for ourselves also we should give our best, and our best is where in youth only. Prime is in youth, right? Not after 40 or 50. All of a sudden we cannot chant long rounds, many rounds, attentive good rounds. We cannot do very good japa straight just like that after 50, say after 40. We cannot read also. It's not practical, Baba. For 40, 50 years, I might have engaged in business, sports, politics, what not. And all of a sudden, to be Krishna conscious doesn't work like that. Why wait till that long? Now is the time, act from now itself. So, the best to offer to Krishna is my time. The best to offer to Krishna is my youth, beauty, intelligence, courage, willingness. This is all should be offered to Krishna. That is the best charity to do. Charity begins from home. There are modes, different modes, in different modes, different charity is done. But before I offer anything to Krishna, first of all, I must offer myself. It should not be like, oh, guests are coming in the house. What do we do? Oh, that guest, that friend, she likes paneer sabji. And the man, he likes a spinach potato sabji. Hmm. And their son, he likes a walnut cake. So let's make pulao, spinach, potato, paneer sabji, walnut cake, and some dal and papadum and like that. But this we are keeping in mind whom? The guest and ourselves. What do we like? What do the guests like? Do we think what Krishna likes? Eh, Charity should be like that only. Receiving guests, that what Krishna likes, what we would want to offer to Krishna. Not like this is not a healthy thing, na? First thinking what our guests like, what we like, and accordingly making a menu, and then preparing food stuff and offering to Krishna. Wow, Krishna will say, "Wow, this is interesting, huh? You have made this preparation all for whom? Thinking in mind whom? What the guests like and what you yourself like. You have made all this preparation for them, actually, you have made it, but out of some culture, etiquette, or fear, or some etiquette, and okay, fine, you want to offer me and do it formally like this, fine. That I offer it, I honor it, I take it, and then leave it, give my remnants to you, and you take as prasad. But in the first place, you did not make it for me. Okay? Made it for whom? Planned it na beforehand. Planned beforehand. We'll invite guests. What do our guests like, and we'll make for them. This sort of Krishna consciousness is not very healthy, it's not very good. Of course, in our sadhaka condition stage, beginning stage, all this is what is expected to come from us. But this is not Krishna centered life. Everything should be Krishna centered. What Krishna likes, what should I cook for him? What should I What dress should I make him wear, and what dress should I wear for myself for him? So there are two things. One is Anushthan, another is Arpan. Anushthan means undertaking, initiative, venture, some assignment, some taking things. So Anushthan and Arpan. Arpan means offering, Arpit, offering, offer, to offer. So first should be, okay, this is a question. What should we do? First, should we take an undertaking, a venture, an assignment, and then offer, or first should we offer and then take an assignment? Let me simplify the question a bit. First, should I take a undertaking, an assignment, a venture, a project, say, keeping that in mind, and then should I offer myself to Krishna? Or first should I offer myself to Krishna and then take an assignment, venture, project, undertaking, initiative? What do you say? First, should I take an initiative and then offer myself to Krishna, or first should I take the offer myself to Krishna and then take the initiative? First, offer ourselves. Yes, Renas?
Yeah, I would say I guess first offer myself to Krishna. Yeah, because then you will actually know what's your task. Like what will you will have a more clear idea what you should do, right?
First, we should definitely offer ourselves to Krishna. We should
Yeah.
try. Give ourselves fully to Krishna. Then whole life is like whatever we do, initiative. Then we are sanctioned. Then we are authorized. It's fair enough, right? Guests come in the house. So, but what do you offer? Oh, let us make orange juice. They will like, or our guests like orange juice. They do not like apple juice. But where is Krishna in the picture? So first we should offer ourselves to Krishna. Then we accept guests in the house. Then we go also. Then we take any initiative in job, study and all. But first of all, I should offer myself. That is the highest charity. See, all this is not from others. Charity is for myself only. I have to do the charity. I cannot expect anyone else to do the charity. I have to become fearless. I have to take sannyas consciousness. Someone could be in female body, huh? But that doesn't mean na female body. So what? Could be married with children in female body. But who is stopping her from taking this sannyas consciousness? That okay, no more sense gratification, no more blame game, no more either ka udhar, no more manipulation. Hmm, that is no one stopping, and everyone should be doing this. So first taking sannyas consciousness, then interacting with the world, then preaching will be a different level altogether. First thing Prabhupada said, na, desire and deserve. So first deserve, then desire. First deserve means first engage in service, first do bhakti, then desire Golok Vrindavan. First deserve, first serve Guru Maharaj, then desire Golok Vrindavan. And this deserving comes dedicate. First dedicate ourselves. We have to first dedicate ourselves. And when we fully dedicate ourselves, we will be free from the results mentality. We won't be checking on the result. Another very good thing in life, what? Doubt and benefit of doubt. For ourselves, we should be doubtful. We should keep doubt. Okay, yes, I must be like this only. Say if someone says, oh, 3 months back you told me this. I doubt, I said. I should respect the relation and agree, yes, maybe I had made a face then. If someone says, no, 3 months back you had made a face upon me, bad face, say you told me this and you gave me this weird look and face. Now should I doubt? No, yeah, no doubting. Yes, maybe I would have done. Sorry. I'll try to be more watchful now from now on. Hmm. And if I do correct me, then there. So we respect the relation. We don't just go on doubting. And for others, we should give the benefit of doubt to others. That no, actually, maybe I'm mistaken. Yes, maybe I made the face. I should give her or him the benefit of doubt. When we start giving others the benefit of doubt, then Krishna will take away doubts from us. Otherwise, samshaya atma vinashyati. A doubting soul has no, can never progress in life. Vinashyati. A doubting person is doomed, next to doomed. Is going to doom only in life. So faith has to increase, doubts have to come down. Doubts have to nil, no doubt. We should not be having any doubt in the practice of Krishna consciousness, in the process of Krishna consciousness, in the philosophy of Krishna consciousness. Doubt is something which puts us away from Krishna, and faith is something which brings us closer to Krishna. So enough of blame game. We have played enough of this blame game. This life, let me strive. Let me dovetail myself. Let me arrange, organize myself so that I can come to a no complaint zone. Live life like in a no complaint zone. No complaint. Whatever Krishna gives, blessing. It is fair. It is just. I deserve even worse, but it is Krishna's kindness. This much realization I must develop, and I shouldn't complain. The more I stop complaining, the more I come out in Krishna's good books, the more peace I will experience, the more joy I will experience. This is fearlessness, this is dependency now on Krishna. That no complaints. For myself, for oneself, one should have no complaints. One should be satisfied in whatever condition, situation one is. You know, okay, take this as a question. What is the best benefit of coming to a no complaint zone? Question: what is the best benefit of living a no complaint life? Uh, The best benefit of living in a no complaint zone is one will find no competition there. No competition, no egoistic competition. Smooth. Life will be very smooth. Very smooth when I come to a no complaint zone. Very easy. I will find that I'm traveling life in a 6 lane, 8 lane, 12 lane highway. Very smooth life will become. When I stop complaining or moaning or crying or cribbing. See, there's this thing with C, letter C. There's crying, there's cribbing, hmm? There's complaining, huh? There's all this competition. Competition leads to complaining, crying, cribbing, hmm? And all this leads to chaos. All this brings chaos. Material mundane competition leads to crying, complaining, complain leads to crying, crying leads to further cribbing leads to crying. Say competition, complain, crib, cry, chaos. है ना? C. Another C is what? Chanting, japa, doing japa on beats. Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That chanting will bring what? Compassion, not competition, compassion. Then there will be no complaint, not complain. There will be clarity, clarity in life. Japa will bring compassion, Japa will bring clarity, Japa will bring cleanliness. Cleanliness will come. Clean thoughts, clean environment, clean mood. Uh, Japa will bring that cleanliness, not chaos. Through chanting, there will be clarity, compassion, cleanliness. and furthermore, peace of mind altogether. Pure peace of mind. So, this Bhagavad Gita is a journey of transformation from confusion to clarity. Pure. Life is like Arjuna was very confused. Na? We live conditioned life means confused life, confusion, life of confusion. But this japa is the link. Japa is the thing which will transform us from confusion to clarity. Any questions, thoughts, or comments? Okay, let us read a couple more then. Huh? So, divine and demoniac nature. This is speaking on nature. Person is fine, just the nature, the mind is a bit corrupt. When I learn to distinguish between the person and the mind, I will find peace. Relations will improve. My health will improve. And all this will come about good faith, good japa, good devotee association, building a vision. So then all of this will be coming about by good japa. Japa is very powerful, very important. One thing is clear consciousness, yes. Another is hazy consciousness. Hazy na dhundla, hazy consciousness. Another clear. Clear consciousness will come through japa. Okay, Harsha, you can read then as far as Dhamma self-control. Harsha
Yeah,
read,
sure.
and if Dipti can read, then Dipti read, and Renas can read afterwards.
Then, as far as Dhamma, self control is concerned, it is not only meant for other orders of religious society, but is specially meant for the householder. Although he has a wife, a householder should not use his senses for sex life unnecessarily. There are restrictions for the householders even in sex life, which should only be engaged in for the propagation of children. If he does not require children, he should not enjoy sex life with his wife. Modern society enjoys sex life with contraceptive methods or more abominable methods to avoid the responsibility of children. This is not in the transcendental quality, but is demoniac. If anyone, even if he is a householder, wants to make progress in spiritual life, he must control his sex life and should not beget a child without the purpose of serving Krishna. If he is able to beget children who will be in Krishna consciousness, one can produce hundreds of children. But without this capacity, one should not indulge only for sense pleasure.
Dipti read.
Sacrifice is another item to be performed by the householders because sacrifices require a large amount of money. Those in other orders of life, namely Brahmacharya, Vanaprastha, and Sannyasa, have no money. They live by begging. So, performance of different types of sacrifice is meant for the householders. They should perform Agnihotra sacrifices as enjoined in the Vedic literature, but such sacrifices at the present moment are very expensive and it is not possible for any householder to perform them. The best sacrifice recommended in this age is called Sankirtan Yajna. This Sankirtan Yajna, the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Ram Ram,
Ram
Hare Hare,
Ram, Hare Hare.
is the best and most inexpensive sacrifice. Everyone can adopt it and derive benefit. So these three items, namely charity, sense control, and performance of sacrifice, are meant for the householder.
Venus, read next.
Um, then Svadhyaya, Vedic study is meant for brahmacharya, or student life. Brahmachari should have no connection with women. They should live a life of celibacy and engage the mind in the study of the Vedic literature of cultivation of spiritual knowledge. This is called Savadhyaya. Yeah. Should I continue?
Okay, let us discuss this. Huh? The purports are amazing and very simple, very clear purports. And if we read each and every line, sentence in the purport is so deep and can revolutionize us. Bhagavad Gita is such a revolution. Na? Arjuna, in brief, Arjuna was not wanting to fight Krishna. He had a dialogue with Krishna, and then he was all willing to fight, and he fought so bravely. So that we all need regular motivation in life. So in order to be always enthused, always motivated, study Bhagavad Gita, chant Hare Krishna on beads, associate with devotees. Any thoughts, questions, or comments so far? So, like self-control, na? Again, self-control is not just something for the yogis or the swamis or the monks or nuns or this for brahmacharis in saffron. No, self-control is for everyone. It's for everyone, especially in married life. Na, there is license for sense gratification, open license, say, but one has to be very careful, very life of austerity and yeah, family life is very difficult, na, very entangling for sure. This is what scriptures say, and people have the personal experience, they can vouch out for it. So much of commitments in family life and so much of pride can also come in family life. Very little time for pure Krishna conscious bhajan, for taking shelter. Mangal Aarti is very difficult to do in family life. Daily Mangal Aarti and many things. Of course, there is Varnashram Dharma, there is space for it, is allowed. But first of all, Atma Dharma has to be understood. What is the destination of the soul proper? What is the ultimate destination? What is the ultimate role? What is the ultimate identity? All that has to be taken into account. Then family life can also be good, also, yes. Uh, Husband, wife, both devotees can help each other progress in Krishna consciousness. And it can be, but say husband, wife, both devotees, not devotees, but definitely this is entangling is there, yes. Lots of sense gratification exposure is there. One has to be very matured. Prabhupada wanted what? He said, what did he say? Like, yes, I want all of my girls to get married and all men to stay brahmachari. Hmm. Yeah. All of the girls to get married. All of Prabhupada's disciples, female body disciples, get married. And male body disciples stay brahmachari. So female body disciples will get married with whom? With devotees only, no? Not with some karmis like that. And male body stay brahmachari. What does it mean? That both remain husband wife together, but live like celibacy. Mm. So that is brahmacharya, not just restricted just to brahmachari, even in grahastha also. And then vanaprastha 60. But the way society functions now, many in 60 plus look in Western world more 60 plus there is club pubbing, clubbing, drinking, hen party, this party, stag do's, what all they call. For elderlies also they do it. 60 plus, 50 plus. Very Vedic, very uncultured, not so civilized, pure gentleman-like lifestyle. No, worldwide, na, even in religious setting, but still 50, 60 in age, married for so long, husband is attached to wife in bodily sense, wife is attached to husband in bodily sense, then attached to money, gold, name, fame, property, dress, heavy attachment. And practicing Krishna consciousness, the gross subject matters, uh, they they do not, they still appear abominable, say, but the subtle should appear even more abominable. Subtle subject matters become even more gross. Gross, gross illicit or gross licit sex is also illicit only in many ways. So gross licit or illicit is anyways very filthy, say, very impure. Gross licit is also no pure as such. Huh? But this subtle sex enjoyment, it becomes even more heavy, even more heavy. One should spit all together with this mood of subtle sex enjoyment. And what is subtle sex enjoyment? Appreciation is one form of subtle sex enjoyment. Wanting appreciation, wanting name, fame. A guest come to the house and you serve them lemon water and then dying for a compliment. Something good, someone compliment me. That's subtle sex enjoyment. Wanting a form of compliment, appreciation, validation, recognition, all this subtle enjoyment, such a good speaker, such a kind hearted, good devotee, no. A devotee doesn't like, oh, he's such a good Bhagavad Gita orator. He knows Bhagavad Gita in and out. He knows so many shlokas. In sleep, he can give class. He's such a book distributor. In sleep, also, he distributes books. He's such a good Kirtan leader. So nice is to be identified as a, he's such a Guru Das. He's such a servant of his spiritual master. He's such a Das Anudas identity is fixing. That is so good to, that is the mood to carry. Again, it is an international society for Krishna consciousness, not for Brahmachari consciousness or this consciousness or that consciousness. No. So it is not something, we don't want to become like a, oh, good Kirtanya, good speaker. No. So from the very beginning, we should not entertain any subtle sense enjoyment, subtle defending, subtle. See, hot war is one thing, na? Hot war is in open war. What is going on in Russia, Ukraine? Open war. Cold war is even more dangerous, is it not? So this is a question. What is more dangerous? What is more dirty? Open politics or hidden subtle politics? War, open war or hidden cold war? Hmm? What is more dangerous? What is more low? Cold war, that's very even more degraded, na? Someone punches me from the front, I can see. Someone hits me from the front, I can see. But stabbing someone from the back, very dirty to stab someone from behind, from the back. Hmm? So open war is okay, understand who is my enemy. I know. But lust is such a thing we cannot see, na? Through gross senses, in gross sense. Lust is more heavier than this gross conditioning we have. Subtle is more heavy. So subtle sense enjoyment is more dirty than gross sense enjoyment actually. Gross sense enjoyment okay over say gross मैनिपुलेटिंग चुगली बोलते हैं ना हिंदी में चुगली समझते हो दीप्ति? चुगली हर्षा जानती होगी ना? एंड ये in English what is it called? Backbiting in a way से. Gross backbiting is one thing, but subtly favoritism, backbiting, partiality, these are even more dirty qualities. Uh, Gross sense enjoyment is one. That doesn't mean that we do not keep आंख की शर्म हिंदी में बोलते हैं ना आंख की शर्म in devotee settings we should always maintain decency. Hmm. We should always be decent. We should always maintain etiquette culture. We should never transgress the etiquette and culture. Okay, so grossly sense enjoyment, fine. Devotees have come to the house. I am very much watching football. I can go in the room and watch football, lock myself somewhere and in close watch football in hidden space because of some respect. That is still fine rather than devotees playing kirtan and I'm in the living room watching football live or watching some other music, Bollywood, Hollywood songs, pop songs. That's not good, na? Something doing in the open like that. But subtle is more dangerous. See, subtle is heavily dangerous. So we should not allow for this subtle sense enjoyment. Externally show that I'm self-controlled, and internally, uh, many say na that prostitute she thinks of God daily, more so than a preacher, than a preacher say. A priest speaks about prostitute a lot in his classes, may speak about, ah, or may think about prostitute a lot. And a prostitute, she thinks about God a lot. Isn't there this in Bhagavatam 11th canto, is it? A prostitute lived next in front of a neighbor, in front of a priest, a pujari, a priest, clergy, vicar say. In front of his house, there was a prostitute living. So priest was always where was see this is can be very potent, huh? Priestess focus where was it? Oh, early morning some man has come to prostitute's house. Oh, this prostitute, she's just spoiling her life and she's into this business. So many friends come, drinking, party, and illicit things going on in the house. This lady. So, priest almost day and night going to maybe say where a place of worship coming and thinking what? Oh, this poor prostitute. And prostitute sees what? Next door neighbor is a holy man. Huh? Socho. Prostitute sees what? Next door neighbor. In front of my neighbor, I can see my neighbor's home. A saintly person, holy man. I see japa bead. I see scriptures. Huh? And prostitute, men could be coming in her house, some party, some drinking, some affairs going on, but her mind, she thinks of the holy man. She thinks of the saintly man. She thinks of the God. She thinks of God. So it is message is it is subtle, which is more powerful than gross. Subtle is heavily powerful than gross, and it is subtle which dictates the gross. Subtle. It is a rule. Subtle rules over the gross. Mm, Subtle. So gross में okay. So such is not actually to be brought about in Bhagavad Gita study as such, but what to do today is this world which we live in. It is like this only. Back in the day also the problem was this only. Arjuna's time or even say 1,000 years back, 2,000 years back, problem was always same matter consciousness, matter sense gratification. huh? Exploitation mentality, loading over material nature. Since eternity, this is the problem, and solution is one only Krishna consciousness. But back in the day, 50, 100, 200 years back, there was not this much of internet pornography. huh? There was not this much of internet adult this dating and things around all these things. And now It has become such a problem in society. Many youth losing their lives out of it. So much of time, energy, and this is this is affecting their samskars, their thought process. So going in such gross is like affecting the subtle. Then this subtle will affect the gross. It's a big loop altogether, big cycle. Hmm. So human life is very rare. Subtle rules over the gross. The prostitute externally could be engaged in whatever business, but internally she could be thinking, oh, next door neighbor is a holy man, a saintly man. And saintly man could be going to place of worship, giving some talks, but he's thinking, what, okay, evening time, some man may be coming, or that man has come again. So we are where our desires is. Hmm. We become what we desire. We are where our attachments is. We are where our aim and inspiration is. So this is subtle consciousness that needs to be protected. Sannyas consciousness is a subtle consciousness. Gross is what? The sannyas dress. That is gross. Subtle is what? The sannyas consciousness, which every one of us should take. Everyone. So first, Prabhupada said, no, first deserve, then desire. First dedicate ourselves. First offer ourselves to Krishna. Then act. Then we act. So if I have offered myself to Krishna, then I will receive guests like that. Then I will go to school, college, uni with that mood, with that understanding. Then every decision, every step I take in my life will be Krishna conscious altogether, bona fide, authorized. बोलिए हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Again, I always do feel sorry and I apologize. The text, the purpose translations are very deep, very nice. Lots and lots can be said. Uh, Hari Ananta, Hari Katha Ananta, unlimited. So it is never that we can do any justification or we have discussed or we have covered a lot or yeah, we have got it overall. No, this is just something to 2 hours is what? Nothing. 2 hour reading, 2 hour japa, 2 hour hearing. What is it? It's nothing as such. But um, we should try to do our best and we should be increasing that best. We should give our best to Krishna. Best to give to Krishna is time. Best to give to Krishna is my youth. Okay, any final thoughts, questions, or comments? So we stay away from blame game. No, should not entertain. Any subtle sense gratification we should not entertain. Blame game. This sense of there's two things, na. Sense of appreciation, sense of claiming, sense of achievement. That is one thing. That sense of claiming, sense of achievement, sense of appreciation. Another is what? Sense of utter dependence on Krishna. Sense of complete dependence on Krishna. Sense of no claiming mentality, no owning mentality. That is what zone we want to go. So we want to go to a no complaint zone. Why? Because there is no competition there. Competition is only when I live in a complaint zone. Hare Krishna.